it's fair to say no one expected Ben Carson to be a world-famous neurosurgeon when he grew up. But now, after a groundbreaking career in medicine, he continues to surprise. The Detroit son of a single mother came up with a run out of nowhere for the Republican nomination for president.
Is this a good place for breakfast?
Yeah,
The ordinary small talk between retired Dr. Ben Carson and this group at the airport diner turned pretty serious pretty fast.
How becoming a neurosurgeon when you have some bad news to tell a parent that you don't get angry?
Well, it doesn't make me angry. It makes me sad.
Right.
Obviously.
Frustrated.
But the way you get through that is you do the best that you can do. I always say you do your best and let God do the rest. And, you know, in my life, I always give God the credit for the good stuff.
Right.
But he also gets the blame for the bad stuff.
Right.
My only job is to do the best that I can possibly do.
And he has done his best as one of the most renowned neurosurgeons in the world. But it didn't start out that way. Carson says growing up, his early childhood was difficult. But one day, someone helped unlock his potential.
Do you have any particular teacher that ever influenced you so much that you don't forget them?
Yeah, several. The first one was Mr. Jake, the 5th grade science teacher. He was the first teacher that actually thought that I was smart. And it was an episode, some of you probably saw it in the movie, Gifted Hands, if you saw the movie. He came in and he held up a big black shiny rock and he says, "Can anybody tell me what this is?" And I never raised my hand, but nobody knew. And I had been, because of the reading program my mother put us on, I had been reading about rocks. And I actually knew what it was, which just shocked everybody. And, you know, I explained how it was formed, and everybody was like, "What? Benny? The dummy?" You know? But I was probably the most amazed person because I said, "You know what? You're no dummy." I said, "The reason you knew that answer is because you were reading the books." So aren't you tired of being called a dummy? I said, "What if you read books about all your subjects?" And from that point on, you never found me without a book. If I had 5 minutes, I was reading a book.
And he says his faith also made him stronger. Faith that he learned thanks to an influential person in his life.
Did you grow up in your faith, or how did you come to faith?
It was by osmosis. My mother came to faith in the hospital. And she met a woman there named Mary Thomas who really had a profound effect on her and was a strong Christian lady. And that's how she came to the faith. And my mother was, even before that, you know, she just had an inherent belief in God. But that formalized her faith, meeting Mary Thomas. And it was really the thing that got her through so many difficulties. And she would always say, no matter what the situation was, she would say, "God will get us through this."
But it was God who, Carson says, got him through one of the most frightening moments of his life that he shared with the woman who is now his wife.
And it was on the way back to Yale. We had stayed up a little later than we should have, visiting friends at the University of Michigan. And so we were going to drive all night to get back by the next morning. And she fell asleep first, and then I fell asleep at the wheel in Youngstown, Ohio on Interstate 80 going 90 miles an hour. Was awakened by the vibration of the car as it was going off the road into a ravine. And, you know, I just grabbed the wheel and turned it. It should have just, you know, flipped over, and that should have been the end of it. But somehow, it just started spinning like a spinning top. And they say your life flashes before your eyes before you die. It did. It was like there was this real. I said, "Wow, we're gonna die." The car stopped in the lane next to the shoulder, pointing in the right direction. Just in time to pull off before an 18-wheeler came barreling through. And of course, Candy was awake by then. She said, "What happened?" I said, "Go back to sleep." But no, we actually talked about what had happened, and we prayed and thanked God for saving our lives, and we said, you know, the Lord saved our lives for a reason. He has something we're supposed to do. And that was the day we started going together.
The start of a long and happy relationship, but a time during which he faced another scary moment.
The next day while I'm operating, get a call, nurse holds the phone up to my ear. I hear, not only do I have cancer, but I have a very aggressive form. And I just kind of put that out of my mind and finished the operation, but you know, it was kind of a blow to think of that, and I had an MRI done to make sure that it hadn't metastasized. And I was expecting when I came out of the machine a neuroradiologist to say, "Hey, it looks great, no problem." But there was no neuroradiologist there to say that. The technician gave me my films, and I went up to my office and put them up on the view box. And my heart sank as I saw all these lesions up and down my spine. And you know, I just went and sat down at my desk and I started thinking, thought about my childhood when I was sitting on the ghetto stairs in Boston and looking through the building across the street out of which all the windows had been broken, and there was a sunbeam, and it made me think about my life. And I remember as a 9-year-old thinking I would probably never live to be 25. So as I sat at my desk, I was saying, you've lived twice that long. You've had a good life. There's nothing to be sad about. You know, I just assumed that I was going to die. It wasn't frightening, though. You know, there was a song I know called "Welcome Home, Children." It kept going through my mind. But the saddest thing was thinking about, you know, dying and leaving my family. And, you know, my wife, that was tough. I would wake up in the middle of the night sometime and hear her sobbing. But it turned out that it was a congenital anomaly of the bone marrow. It was not metastasis.
so sad.
So I was able to have surgery done by Pat Walsh, who invented the nerve-sparing prostatectomy, and I'm cancer-free today.
Cancer-free, something many other people are thankful for as well.
And his parents were there, and they said, you operated on him when he was 1 year old and did a hemispherectomy. That's an operation where we take out half the brain to stop intractable seizures. Mm-hmm. And they said, we just want you to know he graduated from college, #1 in his class, with half of a brain. So, you know, that's pretty cool, you know, when you see stuff like that.